Good morning, everyone. Here in Bali, it's 7 a.m. and I wanted to talk about victimism. You know, these things, this phenomenon that is happening sometimes. While we will be talking about it, I'm gonna have some tea ceremony time. An amazing old shampoer for those who knows about tea. So what about victimism? Well, it's something that is quite criticized in our society. You say to somebody, please stop to do the victim, you know? It's not helping, and it's kind of heavy for all of us who are around you. Well, while doing that, we don't really realize that the other person, which is in this victim position, needs some help, some support. I mean, not just the physical one, that you kind of help somebody who is ill, it's lying on the bed, okay, and it's asking for some water. So yes, you need to give this physical help. You want to do it because, for example, it's part of your family, it's a friend of yours, it's your partner, it's your kid, still part of your family. And beside the physical help, you want to support, to say, I'm here with you, I'm gonna take care of you, but just be healthy. So your aim is to get the other person back on track, right? When the other person start to, not just asking you for water, but then asking you for some juice, and then wants the juice to be made perfectly balanced between lemon and orange, and then they want you to do it in front of them, adding some sugar, but wait, the right portion of sugar. So they start controlling the whole process. They start to manipulate, and that's happened very often. And those of you who have some older people in your family, you know that can happen. Okay, so they use their vulnerable position in order to get more and more and more. And if these people are doing like that, it means that someone, in this case, we are talking about us, who are helping, who are supporting, it means that we have some lesson to learn. Boundary, for example. We need to have good boundaries, and we also need to develop our discernment to understand when this person needs it physically, or when psychologically needs some other kind of thing. Otherwise, we will physically give all of these things, thinking that is the resource that they need, when the resource they need is just love, just to feel safe. Okay? I'm gonna share this tea with you. Well, I would do it if you were here. Cheers. Here there is my lovely cat, Orsetta, my хорошая. Bellissima. Vuoi bere un po' di tè? Well, better not to give it to cats, so this tea, I'm gonna give it to our friend here. I don't know if you can see it. Will drink with me, thinking that this is some of you, so we can share this tea. So, going from a healthy support to an extreme case of when this person kind of become dependent. Yeah, they kind of become my lovely baby. They become addicted to your help, to your support. Well, if you become also addicted to giving the support, you kind of get to that syndrome of being the helper, to be the kind of doctor, although you maybe are not a doctor in that case, you are just a family member who is helping and supporting. So in this kind of dynamic, there is something really unhealthy happening, which is the other person will keep this condition. This person wants to keep this condition of being not healthy in order to have this attention from you. This person wants to keep things being like that. Although they are lying on the bed, maybe physically suffering, but wow, they are getting a lot of attention. And this is what we call secondary gain. So apparently the person is suffering and wants to heal, wants to recover. But the matter of fact is that unconsciously they don't want these things to be over. Okay? In other cases, people are getting also an economical, a financial support from the government or their working place. So that's another secondary gain. They want to stay in that position. From one side, again, they want to heal, they want to be back on track. From another side, they say, you know what, it's not so bad being on a bed or on a couch at home and be served by other. It's kind of cool. It's what many people want, right? So this illness, this condition become a tool of power. Okay, so the victim became the one who has the power. How do we get out from that? Well, first of all, we need to understand when we do this thing. Okay, might be not so, let's say, clear, evident, but sometimes we do that in our life to the extent that we feel comfortable with. And today I was given an example. Okay, imagine that you go to the laundry, to one place that they do everything properly. They dry your clothes, they prepare them properly. And here in Bali, by the way, we don't really have washing machines at home, so we go to laundry. I know that somebody, ciao ragazzi, in Italy, in Russia, in other countries, I mean, it's kind of more common to have washing machine at home. So imagine you go there and you pay for this service with pleasure. I mean, you do it and you get a good service. So imagine that today, when you go to take back your laundry, the owner tells you, you know what, it's my son's wedding ceremony today, so it's for free. Everything is for free. My time is for free. The electricity and the product I use, just everything for free. You don't pay for the laundry today. And you're like, wow. I mean, are you sure? But you see from their face that they are sure. They really intend to do this. They kind of feel pleasure to do that. So you kind of accept that. And that's fine. But till what extent they will be happy to do that? And you might say, well, they have to learn to do that with pleasure and to be able to say no when it's not anymore comfortable for that, when it's already kind of not convenient. Then following week, you go there again and they say, you know, it's the wedding celebration of my daughter, so everything is for free. And you're like, really? Again? Yes, go ahead, just take your things, it's everything for free. And then you get to know that this person has 7 daughters and 7 sons, and they are getting married in the following months. I mean, one after another. This person is gonna go really bankrupt soon because first of all there is the time, the effort, the investment for the wedding preparation, for the celebration itself, and the activity which they are now kind of giving everything for free to everybody. So when you are in this position of the one who is receiving everything, you kind of can see that, well, this is happening, and I am here and I can control that. So you will measure, okay, this incoming thing in order also to have some giving. Because remember, it's every time about flow. Yeah? You see it coming. This is physically, it's a present, but it's their energy, it's their time, it's their money. You see it coming, and there is a receiving thing, which is thank you, but there is also a giving back. And when this is not happening, the flow is blocked. So if that person would just stop for a moment, would just say, okay, it's better for a few weeks, a few months, I would just close my activity, I would just stop my work with the laundry and just stay focused on my kids, yeah, that they're getting married. If they stop with their activity, so one part of their life is just in hold for a moment, and that's fine, that's their decision. The important thing is that on the other side, kids would understand that. You see? Clients, they are okay with that, it's closed. They're gonna find another laundry for a few weeks. And the owner of the laundry now is focusing everything to the wedding of the kids. And it's important for the kids to understand that, okay, it's their father or their mother, but they are really now investing everything on you. And for kids, it's not so obvious, because parents, they must. Yeah? They have to do this for me. I came here into their life to make them more happy, joyful, and now they have to do something. Not remembering that they have been doing it forever. You know how much care parents give us? Don't just even imagine that. And I am seeing it, I'm witnessing it from an outside position, seeing how my friends are taking care of their kids. And if they are here, I say ciao Angel, ciao Leila. How they are spending their time, their energy, how much love they give to the kids, and how much the kids are really not self-sufficient. Of course, they need your help, they need your support. But when we grow up, we tend to, of course, diminish it. Yeah, they had to do that. Okay? So one day, a person will really feel it from inside, this gratitude, and say, you know, what you have been doing for me all life, it's so big example of love. Many of you had this experience from their parents. Some of you had it from grandparents, from other relatives, some friends. I know that you can find an example in your life, and if you can't find it, I'm sorry, I think you have fallen into the position of the victim. And no matter how bad they might have treated you, I'm sure there is somebody who look at you in your face without pity. There was at least somebody who invite you to stand up and not to give up. Think about that for a moment. This tea is amazing. So, getting back to our friend who is lying on the bed, or relative who is there, starting asking more and more and more from you, and you giving it more and more physically. You are stopping maybe your activity, as the laundry owner did. You are stopping contact with the external world just to take care of this person. Till what extent? Again, Do you feel pleasure? Are you doing it like this a laundry owner that is telling you it's for free? It's the celebration of my kids' wedding, and I'm so happy to do that. Are you so happy to do that? Because if you are so happy to do that, you won't feel drained. You won't feel that you are giving without taking back something. At the end of the day, you will still have some energy. You might be tired, but you will still have some energy. If that's not happening, yeah, it sounds really like a vampirism. Yeah, like the other person is a vampire sucking your energy, sucking your blood, your sweat, your tears. But it's a black hole, just taking everything and not being fulfilled. Keep taking. And so my question is for you: how long and for how? For how long do you want to keep this? That's a question we should ask ourselves, because we can be intimidated by the other person. That's why we don't tell to the other person, look, you are going too far. Or even better, without using the you statement, but just I am happy to do that, and I feel called to do that, and in this time it's important for me to take care of myself in order to be helpful, not only for you, but for myself, for maybe other people who are also requiring my attention, my time. And this is a kind of conversation with open heart. It's a kind of conversation you can do it if you have already some integrity, and if you are not afraid that somebody might tell you that you are wrong or that you are a bad person. Okay, if you are a bad person, what? If the other person considers you a bad person, what? You're not a good kid. They might tell you if they are your parents. You're a bad daughter. You're a bad son. And if you are used to do some training, if you do those exercises I teach to my patients, I can say some of them are really my students. You go back to your center, to that wise part of yourself, and you ask yourself, who is talking right now? Is it my father talking? Is it my mom talking to me? Or is it their trauma? Who is talking right now? I know that my mom, my father, or my partner, whoever is there on the bed, is there somewhere. But now they have been kind of surrounded. They have been really taken by this trauma. And this trauma is talking instead of them. I have here something to show. Like, if this is the other person, like their pure part, okay? The way you see the spark in their eyes when they are conscious, when they talk to you with open heart, you see this, you remember about this. But now that they are laying on the bed and they are physically suffering and they cannot handle this because they maybe didn't have a training also how to mentally face this situation, this trauma thing, this armor, yeah, which is you do that, you have to do that, can be shown as anger, aggression, or this oh poor me thing. I am kind of so miserable. You have to help me. I am so bad. I can't do anything, because it can be the other extreme, right? It can be tears, and this way of manipulation. This is kind of taking all the other person. This is like an armor, okay? and sometimes it's the armor who is talking and not this person. And we have to be centered in order not to take things too deeply, too bad. And that's a big gym for our emotional intelligence, right? Psychological. Yeah. I already mentioned in other live that you might be aware or not, but there are different levels of body, okay? The physical one, then we have the emotional one, and the mental one, okay? Mental, psychological, I know stuff, I can do operation, I can do the math, I can talk. Emotional one, it's what I'm feeling, and if what I'm aware of what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling, and if this it's connected with the mental body, if you build a connection between the emotional one and the mental one, then you can also tell the other person, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling frustrated. Okay? It's not about you. I'm not angry at you, I am angry at myself. Because instead of, for example, being careful when I was working, taking time for myself, I was all the time rushing, doing things, being in my head, nervous all the time, in tension, and right now I'm lying on the bed and I can't do much, so I am angry with myself. Wow, that's a kind of already person who did some internal work. Yeah. And if they would get deeper, they would also realize that also anger, it's another feeling, yes, but it's still here. So if you remove anger, you will find something else. And those who do therapy with me, they know that. I don't stop with anger. After anger, there is something. Anger, it's already another way to protect what is closer to you. And it might be, for example, I'm afraid to be alone. It can be that. I don't want to be left alone. That's why I keep calling you. That's why I keep asking you to do things for me. When you don't take too personal what the other person is telling you, and if you have this inner strength, because we are talking about strength, guys, this is a very strength-centered person who is saying, I hear you, I hear what you are telling me, but I see that what is talking to me, it's not you. You don't necessarily have to say that out loud. You can just say it to yourself and to the other person. Do what you can to give support, but not to let the other person taking over you. Okay? In that moment you will feel it. I mean, if you had multiple situations like that, you already have a training, but you might be using again the same technique, which is just letting them giving you order, putting themselves on a higher step than you, when you are always same step with other people. Sometimes you are the one who needs help, sometimes you are the one who gives this help. So what you will say, it's up to you. But the way you will say it will be the most important thing. Whatever you will say, just, I'm not, yeah, you can feel I'm hurt, and you can say it. I'm hurt from what you're saying, because I'm giving all what I can, all my best. And now it's time for me to get some rest. So it's so easy to get sick because somebody else is sick. it's so easy to get drained of your vital energy and give it to this black hole. My suggestion, I mean, what I can tell you, it's recognize when you are doing it in your life, first of all. And when the situation happen with somebody, it's an interesting moment when you see that somebody it's doing this victim thing. You might push away the other person. It's up to you. I'm not saying you this is a better way, this is a worse way, this is good, this is wrong. Notice who is talking also in you. Is this part of you talking, or is this other armor that you might put on? You might just wear it. Like I'm wearing a kimono, I can wear an armor and tell other people, no, this is the victim position. I don't want to be your slave. Just go away. Who is talking right now? This is, again, part of your training. You can tell whatever you want to say to the other person. Be sure that this is you talking. Okay? So, if we are helping the other person because we need to be kind of pet, we need the other person to cuddle us with their words, if we need some sort of how you call it, reward, it's hard to get it this way. And why do we need the reward? Because we are lacking of some resources, we are lacking of something, and then we find a person with a big need, and we go there being the helper, feeling so good, so spiritual, and help the other person, not realizing that we are helping our own ego. And for the other person, if it's the kind of person who is accepting every time free laundry, will say, okay, yeah, keep giving me help. But if the other person is the one who, after first time, or even right away, is saying, no, look, you use your time, you use your energy, you use your money, and I'm coming to you because you are giving a great service. I feel that it's important to keep this circle of receiving and giving, and I really want to give you this money. Okay? You can even say it's so little. This money, it's just so little from the service you're giving to me. Same person in the bed would say to the one who is giving help to them, look, you have done enough for today. You have done such a great job. Go relax. Take your time. Stay with your friends. Stay with your partner. Stay with your family. Stay with your cats. They need you. They need to stay, to spend some time with you. Of course, to get to the level this person reach, well, it might take some experience, might take a lot of experience, and not everyone develop this experience the same way. Yeah, I can just say, yes, I had this experience, I lived that, but I have been using the same tools, so I have been always asking and more from people. Or, you know what, I started noticing that I haven't been enough grateful with my father. I have never said him that I love him. Or I have never shown gratitude to my mom what she has been doing for me. She has been cooking for me. Not just cooking. She bought product. She also she gave part of herself for me. When I was a kid, she was really manufacturing, creating milk, being aware of what she was eating, drinking in order for the milk to be the best one for me. You know, if you start to think of these things, of how much love our parents gave to us, yeah, it's really, you can get emotional easy. Because so often when we were talking, maybe by phone, say, oh, I don't want to hear about that, I need to go, bye. And you understand, maybe you had this kind of realization more than once. I hope that at least today you had a taste of it. How often we haven't been talked to them from our center. Thank you, I love you, I need to go right now. This kind of heart-to-heart conversation, instead of letting our emotion being those who to talk. And if those emotions are coming automatically, very often it can be this anger, it can be this pushing thing. Yes. I think all of us can relate to that. If not with our parents, maybe with our partner, maybe with our colleagues. Yeah, we might have shown another side of ourselves when somebody maybe at your working place had a great idea how to solve the issue you have been on day and night for a month, and this colleague of yours is coming with this amazing idea, and you just, what? No, it will never work. And you see in their face how they're just like, okay, and going away, just being so disappointed. And those are the kind of people who don't have enough strength to just, tell you, okay, I just came here to show you my idea. This is a new way, and you just throw it on the rubbish bin without even consider it. That's hurt. But maybe your colleague is not the one who is kind of ready to talk. Maybe it's the one who is more, who kind of tend to just keep everything inside and will just go away so sad or so angry. And then you maybe start to drink some tea and think of what just happened, and you say, that idea was actually quite good, or at least I never thought about that, and a part of me just felt jealous. How is possible I didn't come up with that idea? This person come up with this idea. I felt this kind of envy, this jealousy, and I just pushed them away. I made it on purpose. I wanted to hurt them. And if you arrive to this point, if you get this realization, this insight, the first thing you want to do is calm down for a moment. Otherwise, when you go there, you will go there as the guilty one, and you will probably say something, again, not really appropriate. After you calm down, after you get to your center, you do the exercise I give you, and hopefully you will master them at home, first of all, and then at your working place or wherever you go. Then you can talk to this person. You can learn how to apologize without adding at the end, after you say, oh, I'm so sorry, but that's not apologizing. that's again, that's kind of justifying. You don't need to justify all the time. We don't really need that. And if that's a pattern, it's an automatic thing that we have, it's so good to get aware of that, to realize, every time I tend to justify. Own what you said. And that's it. I was frustrated for a month because I couldn't find a solution for this issue, and you just come in with this idea, and I couldn't stand that. I'm sorry. Let's have a tea together and talk about it. Quite full, huh? So good. Like, old wine is aging, it's getting better. If from the beginning it's a good wine. Same thing with tea. Yeah. And actually don't get drunk after it. So you can really drink it also while you're working. So good. So when we think of our life, it's so easy now to get down and to say, I have been an asshole so many times with my parents, with my siblings, with my family, with my friends, with my partner, with everyone. And when you start to do this inner work, it's so common to have the impression that you are getting worse in everything. That you are so bad person. Every time, every day. And that's why it's important to have someone with you who kind of support you in this path. It's fine. There are things that I have been doing also by my own for quite a long period. But having someone, a master, therapist, whatever, someone who have been going through this path, it's so important because they will tell you all these things that you are now noticing. They have always been there. All of these things. They were in your basement, and in your basement there was no light, so you couldn't see all of these things, all of this pattern, all of these programs that you had inside. You couldn't see them, okay? But they were influencing you, and sometimes they were just talking instead of you. Your trauma. Right now, while you are doing this personal growth thing, this personal transformation, you got a light. Do I have a light? Well, you know how it looks like a light, okay? And you are going into this basement, and you are able now to focus it in some area, and with the help of somebody who is guiding you, will just help you to focus on one area. First of all, the one that you need the most to be focused right now. Not to light everything, otherwise the person might feel really low and not being able to handle this emotional flow of I am so bad, I am so terrible. And getting aware of that corner of your basement that it's full of maybe rubbish, you start to clean it up. You get some tools how to clean it up. And after you clean it up, you're kind of, okay, it's working, it's so good. I feel much more free. Now, when these things is happening at work, that my colleagues just come in with an amazing idea, or sometimes a very bad idea, but at least they are coming and telling it to me. They don't just put it in practice. They don't just start doing it by their own. They at least consult me. You are kind of, wow, thank you for coming. Amazing. But that's it. It's maybe not what we are looking for. Then you find your own way to to handle this. At least welcoming them and appreciating the fact that they are sharing it with you. So you're again coming home, having your time for yourself, and with your inner journey. You met with your master or with your therapist, whatever, and you say, I got cleaned in this corner of my basement. I got more understanding about that. I'm ready to go a step forward. Awesome. And you keep doing it. And you start cleaning your basement, your programs. You first of all become aware that these things is happening. You know, all the time that somebody is needing my help, I just go there and I kind of let them take everything from me. It happened with my grandma, it happened with my grandfather, now it's happening with my father. And next, it's basement cleaning. Why it's this happening? I'm giving my time, my energy, but I'm taking something from them. I feel useful, and I want to be appreciated, and I need because inside I have some lack. And you do this inner work, and you get to know what you are lacking. You see, it's not about pushing away this program, it's so bad, I am fed up with myself. This is again this pushing thing. I get aware of it, I get to know it, I get to know why I'm doing it. And when you solve it, when you do this healing, but to the core, not the surface thing that I'm kind of being fooled by myself that I did everything. I did, therapy, which is just a bypass thing. I went to talk to somebody and just talk about the situation, complaining and not doing a healing. I feel so good, but I feel so good for some hours and that's it. Then you go back to the hospital to help this person that is lying on the bed, and again you get back to the old pattern. Okay, so if you do this kind of therapy or just complaining thing, it's a bypass, it's not a healing. When you get to the core, when you get down, then you understand what are your needs, why you are doing that, and the healing happen with all the procedure that your therapist will tell you, or you do the process with your therapist, or you do the exercises at home, whatever method suits you. Then when you go there to the hospital, to this person that is needing your support, your help, you might even notice that they change their attitude with you. Without even telling them anything, they just say, okay, you know what? I feel pretty good today. Why don't you have some free time for yourself? Go to the cinema. Enjoy. Go to a yoga class. Go for some jogging, rock climbing, whatever. Go. And you're like, wow. Can it happen so fast? Yes, it can happen so fast. It looks like it happened very fast, but before you get to the basement, it took you so long to say to somebody, you know what, I need a transformation inside myself, please guide me. How long was your path till that moment? The healing thing, that it might be quite fast. The process might be taking some time, but it's nothing compared with all the time we have been procrastinating this inner job. And we are so used to accepting the fact that for a master degree, for example, in medicine, it takes 10 years or even more. But to do this inner transformation, we want it to happen in one session with your therapist, one meeting with your master. Do the math with yourself. I mean, count how many days it took you to take a master degree in medicine. Now we are talking about changing your pattern, your own way to approach life, and you want it to be done in one session. In that context, it might happen in one session, especially if you get to the right therapist. But if you are talking about all life, your whole pattern, I want every time to get centered and to talk from this side of myself to the wise part of myself. I want it to happen right now in all context in my life, at work, with my partner, with person that is laying on the bed, asking for my help. It's not gonna happen because we need practice. We need to really learn how to get centered. And if it's happening that you are getting centered every time, please tell me how you do it. Please tell me how you do it. Okay? Because it means that you have become a master. A master that's it's having so much inner strength that every time can get centered, every time that something is shaking around, you're not using this armor to talk. You're not getting triggered, and you kind of, or maybe you get triggered, but you can melt it and just talk with you, this part of yourself. Or maybe even not to talk, you just can be there and spread your presence, spread your love, smile to the other person, or maybe even without smiling, just being there, holding the space. In my experience, it takes time. It needs practice and commitment. It doesn't have to be hard work. That's the difference. Usually, mainstream wants to tell you that it's hard work to get to the position where you want. It's so hard, sweat, blood and tears. It's not necessarily like that. If you use the wrong tool to, for example, have your hair cut, you're using a knife, it will be blood, sweat and tears. But if you use another tool and somebody train you how to do that, and then you commit to this path of becoming a hairdresser, then it may be fun. You might really enjoy that. So thank you for listening. I hope you can take something with yourself, and if not, it's still okay. We might need to listen things from different sources more than once. But the most important thing is the experience, when you really felt it, when you have this realization. You have no words for that, but you really understand that, oh yeah, it's happening. I understand that many times I have been talking from my ego, from my trauma, from my pain, instead of talking with my heart, with my pure essence. And I wanna improve that. I'm not gonna say bullshit to other people that now everything is changed. I'm committed to this job, to do this work. And I accept the time. So have a good tea, have a good day. Take care. See you soon.